Famously, I did go to one other camp. A camp I went to 1 year, the summer after 8th grade. My really good friend Kathy reached out and she's like, hey, my grandparents are giving me an 8th grade graduation gift. And they want to send us to a camp for a week. And they said I could bring a friend and I want to bring you. And I was like,
choose you.
Yeah. And I was like, that's awesome. And she was like, okay, but here's the thing. Like, the camp is in a restored colonial village. And I was like, and she's like, so from what I know, I think we have to kind of like live as pilgrims for a week. And I still was kind of like, she was one of those friends who was just like, I would do anything, you know, with her. Yeah. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun. So I was like, okay, like, it doesn't quite dovetail with my get cool this summer plan, but like, sure. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, like, you know, we'll be in like a quaint situation and like, we'll still be doing like fun activities. Okay, cut to us rolling up to this camp in this village. And when they say restored, like, they left no detail out. I literally felt like I went through a time machine. Like, we're suddenly pulling up. There's like wagons and blacksmiths and so, you know, like, yeah. And we get there and they bring us into this like intake room. And the woman's like, your name's Abigail now. And I'm like looking around like, are you talking to me? And she like hands me this hanger that has this Halucious, like a purple dress, apron, and bonnet on the hanger. She's like, your father is the blacksmith. Oh. He's very important to our village. I was like, I'm sorry, did I miss something? So I had to go into this room and change, and she was like, we had to wear shoes that they would have had in colonial time. Whoa. I changed it. Kathy comes out like looking crazed. She's like, my name's Rebecca. She's like, my father is the parson. What follows is a week of us doing chores, basically, in bonnets. We instantly got split up. I like never saw Kathy again because apparently like she was in an upper echelon in society and I was like a blacksmith's daughter, like riffraff. And so we wove baskets by hand, okay? Churned butter, sheared a sheep, and they were making it seem like it was an activity, but I would weave a basket. And I was like, wow, I can't wait to show my family this basket I wove. They kept everything we made. I suddenly like was looking around. I was like, we are child laborers. Because there would be tourists walking through the camp as I'm working in the carpenter's shop and they're taking my photo. And they're like, honey, look, it's a kid. Like, and I'm like literally whittling something. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, help, like my name isn't Abigail. I'm supposed to be getting cool this summer. Ultimately, following my legacy of being a camp rebel, I started to feel some unrest and I did lead a small rebellion among the campers where every day we had to bring a lunch that they would have in colonial times in a tin bucket, which, spoiler alert, is an apple. Maybe like a block of cheese. Yeah. So I was getting so tired of having to bring these lunches. So Kathy and I, we'd go home each night to her grandparents' house and we'd be like covered in dirt. Like, we'd be like, yeah, just another day in the village. And they were like, wow, it seems so immersive. Like, they thought it was great. Anyway, so we were packing our lunch for the next day and I was like, Kathy, like, we need to take a stand. I was like, I'm packing granola bars. And Kathy was like, don't do this. And I was like, and I'm bringing enough for everyone. Like, so we walk into camp the next day, my apron pockets are bulging with these chewy granola bars. I'm like, good morning, you know, like saying hi to the people, because we had like quasi counselors who were like, one was a Martha, who was kind of the overseer of our like group of children, and if you stepped out of line, they would make, because they wanted it to be authentic, so I was taking on a big risk. So we're eating lunch in the field, and Martha, there was sort of a romance playing out with her and one of the village men in overalls. So they're under a tree far away. So I was like, this is my moment. And I look around and I'm like, hey guys, I have something. And I started taking granola bars out and sliding them across the grass. And a couple of the kids were like, we can't be party to this, like immediately, because like they were faithful villagers. But a couple people took the granola bars. But ultimately, I did get caught. I think the light kind of reflected off of the granola wrapper at the right moment when Martha turned her head, and I literally was sent into the far field for the whole day and had to hoe a field. Ultimately, I came back from this camp majorly set back in my journey of trying to become cool that summer, but Kathy and I still crack up about this. Yeah, so summer camp, you know. Yeah. Well, I think ultimately it was a gift, but it was not without its adversity.
Of course.